Friends, as we begin with the inaugural session of the day, I request all the dignitaries to take their seats on the dais, please. Shri Rajiv Kumar Agarwal, whole-time member, Securities and Exchange Board of India, and our chief guest for the day. Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE Limited, and guest of honor for the program. CS Makarand Lele, Council Member, ICSI, and Chairman, Financial Services Committee of ICSI. CS Mahavir Lunawat, Council Member, ICSI, and Program Director. CS Kamlesh Joshi, Chairman, Western India Regional Council of ICSI. I request all the dignitaries for lighting of lamp to give the day an auspicious opening. I request CS Mahavir Lunawat to formally welcome our chief guest by presenting a good luck plant. I request CS Makarand Lele to formally welcome Shri Ashish Chauhan, our guest of honor. Friends, our chief guest, Shri R.K. Agarwal, an electronics engineer from IIT Roorkee, joined Indian Revenue Service in 1983 and is presently the whole-time member of SEBI since November 2011 and is responsible for policy formulation, regulation, and enforcement in the securities markets in India. Before joining SEBI board, he also served as member of the Forward Markets Commission for 5.5 years. He was earlier Commissioner of Income Tax and was associated with various important investigations related to securities markets. He has been member of various committees formed by the central government. He is currently member of IOSCO's Capacity Building Resources Committee and also a member of the Board of Governors of NISM. Our guest of honor, Shri Ashish Chauhan, is currently MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange and is one of the founders of National Stock Exchange, where he worked from 1992 to 2000. At NSE, he was instrumental in setting up the first screen-based trading in India, equities market, and first commercial satellite communications network for India. He is best known as the father of modern financial derivatives in India. From 2000 to 2009, he worked as President and Chief Information Officer of Reliance Group, and also acted as the CEO of the cricket team Mumbai Indians in its formative years. He has won several international and Indian awards. He holds a B.Tech in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Bombay and a PGDM from IIM Calcutta. He is a distinguished visiting professor at Ryerson University, Toronto, Canada. He is part of several committees formed by the Government of India, RBI, SEBI, CII, FICCI, Indian Merchant Chambers, and the India-UK Council. Friends, I now request C.S. Mahavir Lunawat to deliver his welcome address and set the tone of the proceedings for the day.
A very, very warm welcome to each of you. And let's put our hands together to bring positive energy and vibration. Respected Sri Rajiv Kumar Ji Agarwal, Honorable Whole-Time Member, Securities and Exchange Board of India, beloved Sri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, Managing Director and CEO, Bombay Stock Exchange, my council colleague and Chairman Financial Services Committee, Mr. Makarand Lele, Mr. Kamlesh Joshi, Chairman, Western India Regional Council, ICSI, all the expert, esteemed, learned panelists, my dear friends, a very, very warm welcome to each one of you to this mega event of ICSI celebrating Capital Markets Week. Capital Markets Week is now a hallmark of ICSI's initiatives towards areas which go much beyond corporate law, and particularly capital markets, which are so dynamic that we at Council feel and believe that company secretaries are poised to play a very, very important role. Friends, Indian capital markets have witnessed various developments during last 2 decades particularly. What was relevant or most important yesterday perhaps does not exist, and all we are saying is change. But as an economy, as a market, we are very fortunate to have traveled a long distance, a long journey of marquee milestones. From controlled pricing regime to free pricing regime, from physical era with lots of menace like bad deliveries, long settlement processes, to an era of electronic instruments. From equity-only culture to derivatives, mutual funds, and growing debt markets. From a month-long IPO processes to T+6 time frame where companies can get listed. From physical checks to ASBA. From main board to alternate capital raising platform. I think we have traveled a long, long distance, and this has been possible only because of proactive role of Securities Exchange Board of India. And from Institute and from each one of us, Honorable Mr. Agarwal, please accept our sincere compliments for putting up a very robust capital markets. Friends, recently SEBI launched alternate capital markets. SME markets are now world's fastest growing market, both in terms of number of companies that are coming and getting listed, and also in terms of returns these companies are giving to the shareholders. And we are very fortunate to have with us the architect of the entire alternate capital market, Mr. Rajiv Kumar Agarwal. Again, very, very sincere compliments and many thanks for introducing much needed platform for the growth of the nation and all the stakeholders. Sir, keeping pace with the changing dynamics, our institute has also taken a lot of initiatives Mr. Agarwal and all the esteemed guests will be pleased to note that ICSI, the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, is the only institute in the world to have formulated secretarial standards and secretarial audit. Sir, you will be pleased to note that many global institutes, various economies now wish to emulate the Indian model of profession of company secretaries. We are an extended arm of regulators. We are an extended arm of yours. We are indeed thankful for reposing confidence in the fraternity of company secretaries and empowering us with a lot of responsibilities like compliance officer under LODR, compliance officer for various intermediaries, certifications and audits under SEBI rules and regulations, and I'm sure we will continue helping the market regulator and strengthening the areas of corporate governance towards orderly development of market and investor protection. We are overwhelmed, members present here, we are overwhelmed with the kind of response we got to this mega event. And in fact, we regret that we had to stop registration because of the constraints. But nevertheless, we have provided for webcast of this program globally, and we have already started login from across India and some of the overseas parts. I'm sure all the friends present here and who have logged in through web will take fullest benefit of today's conference on capital markets. Our deepest gratitude to Bombay Stock Exchange, who have partnered with ICSI in organizing series of programs during this capital market week, and without whose support probably it would not have been possible to organize such a wonderful and fruitful series of programs across the nation. With this, friends, I once again welcome our respected chief guest, Mr. Rajiv Kumar Agarwal, Honorable Whole-Time Member SEBI, Mr. Chauhan, MD and CEO BSE, and who incidentally arrived only early morning from overseas trip but has been kind enough to be with us, and all the esteemed panelists. Pardon me for not taking the name individually, but I'm sure with your expertise and words of wisdom, we are going to have a very, very interactive and fruitful day ahead. With this, I wish this mega event a grand success, and once again, welcoming you from bottom of my heart on behalf of the Institute, the Financial Services Committee, Western India Regional Council, and all the organizing team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request C.S. Makran Lele, Chairman Financial Services Committee, to introduce the theme and sub-themes for the Capital Markets Week chosen by the Institute for the year 2016.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, my dear fellow company secretaries, students and members, and the guests for today. Warm good morning to all of you, and welcome you to this capital market event of the ICSI. This is one of the prestigious event of the ICSI, and we're conducting this for last about 4 years now, since 2012. And I'm happy to acknowledge that Bombay Stock Exchange is our continuous partner in our capital market initiatives. And 6 months back, we have also taken an initiative of capacity building for our members in the areas of listing development regulations, the LODR regulations. And BSE has supported us immensely, and we could reach to about 3,000 of our members from all over India during that process, and still the process is on. We also had a program at Guwahati, not only in Mumbai, but in the Guwahati, places like Guwahati, we had the program, and it was well appreciated by everybody. The contribution and the support of the Bombay Stock Exchange was immense. They have also provided us the faculties in the entire process. So far as the Capital Market Week for the Institute is concerned, Institute and its members are always connected with the capital market, maybe as the compliance officers, maybe as the secretarial auditors, or maybe as merchant bankers in the different field, or maybe as a consultants or the advisors. So the thought was given 4 years back that let us have this kind of an initiative where we can showcase ourselves that how the company secretary is the important element of the capital market, and what are generally the roles and functions of a company secretary in the capital market. So in this direction, you would be having one brochure which has been circulated to you, intimating you the extensive role of company secretary plays into the entire capital market process. The theme for 2016 is Transcending Horizons, the Capital Market Way. The Modi ji government is already taking a lot of initiatives like say startup, stand-up, CSR, crowdfunding. And we thought that let us make an attempt to connect all these initiatives with the capital market. And therefore we thought that capital market way could be the correct wording for the theme. And from that direction, then we have subdivided that main theme into 7-8 sub-themes. Those are reforms in securities market, covering securities laws for better governance. The reforms, the most important reform you will find which has been brought in recent past is harmonization of the corporate laws and the capital market laws. There are some of the sections under the Companies Act which has been vitally harmonized with the provisions of the capital market so as to bring the clarity in the entire process. And so we wanted to discuss those kind of reforms which has been taken in the past and how the role of a company secretary is evolving in the entire process. The Startup and Accelerate is the most important initiative which has been taken by the government in the recent past, where emerges empowering the MSME and SME platforms, which has already been initiated by the SEBI and the stock exchanges. Those particular elements are already there. And we thought that could be the apt theme where how this capital market can support the startup and acceleration benefits and acceleration initiatives of Government of India. Good governance and sustainability in the capital market is one of the most important and fundamental principle, which of course includes the initiatives like corporate social responsibility, social development, the green bonds, the various concepts, municipal bonds. All these concepts have been introduced recently, and that could be one of the area where we thought the discussion can happen. Startup, stand-up, crowdfunding, which is the concept which has recently evolved. Infrastructure and real estate building and funding, institutional investors funding, public financing and PSU capitalization, municipal bonds, all these concepts are very relevant for us for the discussion. The company secretary has been recognized as the compliance manager under the SEBI's listing regulations and LODR regulation. He has to play a vital role in not only doing the compliances, but ensuring that everything is well, all the compliances has been done, and he has to also build upon the investors' confidence. So if there is a company secretary in the company who is giving a kind of a certificate that compliances has been done, investors are confident about that particular company. So today we will discuss and dwell upon the role of a company secretary in the capital market. Then skill development and through a financial inclusion and literacy, and including the HR, Indian resources, human resources development. Literacy in the capital market for a size like India is very, very important. the investors' initiatives has already been brought in. Our institute is also taking a lot of initiatives. We are also trying to design some of the programs which would be in the local language and for a short duration, which would probably give the information to the general public about economic offenses which are happening nowadays, maybe through Ponzi schemes, or maybe through sending emails, or maybe through using some kind of communications, including the cyber laws and including the consumer protection, which is essential in the process. So we are trying to design that particular literacy-oriented scheme for the investors. And the reposing investors' confidence and bringing in the measures for opportunities for dissenting shareholders to exit. In the Companies Act, you will find there are 2-3 provisions which allows the investors to exit, like say if the change of business of the company, in case of a reverse merger, these provisions are useful. And the company secretary, professional facilitator in the capital market, what is the role? We'll discuss that. And the last one is most important, implementation of GST and its effects on the capital market. You are aware, if the GST is going to be implemented, it is going to be a cost saving because it will remove the cascading effects of the taxation, and therefore it will have some kind of a cost saving, and this will probably attract the international investors to come to India and to set up their workshops. So it is kind of a Make in India double boom would be there. So it's a right point in time where we discuss about impact of the GST on the capital market. So in this direction, we are moving ahead. This week will continue up to 25th. Various locations will have the programs. And today, let me now just brief you about today's program. After the inaugural, there will be first panel discussion on the recent changes in securities law and current capital market scenario. The panelist would be Mr. D.R. Dogra, Managing Director and CEO, KR Ratings. Mr. Mohan V. Tangsale, Chief Executive, Indian Bankers Association, will participate. Mr. Rajesh Doshi, Founder and Managing Director, Steer Advisors. And Mr. Aditya Cherian, Associate Partner, Khetana and Company, will participate in the panel discussion. Mr. Amrish would be moderating this particular session. The second panel discussion would be on the role of a CS in the capital market. CS Dipti Neelkantan, Group Chief Office Compliance Chief Operating Officer, JM Financials, would be one of the panelists. CS Jyoti Tandon, Executive Director, Head Compliances, Noruma Financial Advisors, Securities India Private Limited, would be one of the panelists. CS Vinod Patil, Director, Head of Compliance of Institutional Credit Business, Citibank, and Mr. Vishwas Pathak, Advisor to Maharashtra Government Power Sector. Moderator for this panel would be Ms. Archana from Money Control. So, without taking much time of yours, I once again welcome you all for the program, and looking forward to the fruitful deliberations into 2 panel, including we are eager to listen to Shri Ashok Kumar Chauhan about his views. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Ashish Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE Limited, to deliver his address.
Shri Rajiv Agarwal, whole-time member, SEBI, Shri Makran Lele, Shri Mahavir Lunawat, Shri Kamlesh Joshi, friends from the industry, Shri Mohan Tangsale, Shri Dogra, Shri Baliga, Shri Atul Mehta, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and honor to be in front of you. Some of you are regular here on various ICSI programs. I'll still take up on this issue of compliance officer, a role of a company secretary It seems India has the largest number of company secretaries, and probably we will have the largest number of company secretaries will be over next 5-10 years, where the rest of the world will have less number of company secretaries compared to India, and we might have to export some of you, at least some of your work, outside. So in some sense, we were discussing today skilling, that India needs to do skilling, and I think ICSI has done a wonderful job of ensuring that youngsters who are best and brightest are able to become compliance officers. For me, the job of a company secretary in a company is basically about guiding the CEO about what is correct and what is not correct, what is dharma and what is not dharma, what is adharma. In some sense, your job, as and when some of you become company secretaries, because I can see a lot of youngsters, as and when you become company secretaries, your job is like Krishna to the Arjun. Arjun is the CEO, you are the driving force. You are telling them to go in a particular direction. So take your job in that very seriously. It's also about being an internal governance. Regulators like SEBI, RBI, BSE, they will be there regulating the companies from outside. From within, you are the regulator. It is like every person is supposed to have that little bit of God in himself or herself. So that guides the, or provides the compass on which direction to go. A company secretary is very similar to that in a company. And since all of you are being taught the importance of capital markets, the biggest fundamental foundation of capital markets for me is protection of minority interests. People who do not have voice, you have to become their voice. So as and when you take up the job of company secretary, you must understand and you must tell your management in whatever way you can. Sometimes you tell too much and they might throw you out. But effectively, what is legal, what is permissible within that, people who do not have voices, the people with minority interests, their interest if you protect, then the capital markets will be protected. Otherwise, today, people sitting across the world, anywhere in Timbuktu, in New York, in Tokyo, housewives are investing in Indian capital markets, Indian companies. They are never going to visit an Indian company sitting in, say, Chennai or in small villages, but they are giving their hard-earned money in the trust that the Indian capital markets and also Indian company secretaries will ensure that their money will be used for proper purposes and will not be siphoned off. It is absolutely important, therefore, that onus is as much on regulator as on the company secretaries, on also companies, that if societies have to perform the function of trust, providing trust, government can do only so much. It is also the companies and the company secretaries have to come forward and do things. India requires close to $2 to $3 trillion over the next 10 years to improve its infrastructure. Any economy has two legs, as I call it. One is the banking leg, another is the markets leg. The markets are basically places for disintermediation, and banking are places for intermediation. In places for intermediation, you put your money into a bank, and bank will on lend to somebody else. But if that person defaults, your money is not supposed to be at loss, unless the bank itself goes belly up. Whereas in disintermediation, you put in money directly into the company by way of equity, that is partnership, or by way of debt, debentures, and so on and so forth. So the markets are basically about the capital formation, but in a intermediation way, a disintermediation way, and banking is about intermediation. Over last 67 years, Indian government has given tremendous importance to the banking system. Even now, if you see, the banking system makes more noise and also is supposed to be the holier than the markets. Over last 67 years, all government activities are about banks being the best and markets being very bad. But suddenly, the markets have become larger than banking system. Despite all the efforts of the the government, the policymakers, the intellectuals, the banking system, their governors, and so on and so forth. The banking system total size is around 80 lakh crore. The stock market size is now 100 lakh crore. The banking system, if you take away what they lend to the government of India and the state governments, it's around 23 lakh crore. So 57 lakh crore is remaining, vis-a-vis 100 lakh crore. And 100 lakh crore is completely mark to market. Every moment, every day, prices give you a perspective that what is happening. In banking, you don't know what is NPA, what is not. Assuming 57 lakh crore of lending probably has, some people say it's 5 lakh crore, some people say it's 10 lakh crore. Whatever, if you remove that mark to market of banking system is less than half of the markets. Why I'm telling you this is sometimes our perceptions are created by media, by our own activities, but realities may be very different. And if India has to progress, capital markets have to be given more importance than what it has been given or what it has been getting till now from the regulators, from the policymakers, and so on and so forth. And why it is important, especially in a country like India, is because of the transparency it provides. In banking system, if loans go non-performing, somebody has to actually push the banks to actually say that they are not performing. In stock markets, before they start becoming non-performing, actually you come to know because the markets are going to price them differently. And that is why today also markets actually, despite all the controversies that have happened over the weekend, the markets are actually flat. Otherwise, it was looking as if sky is going to fall. Why I'm telling you this is sometimes the media has a tendency to create what I call storms in the teacup. And we must understand, as people who have studied well, that ultimately India is not one person. India is made of 120 crore or 125 crore people. And that is why it is so much more important that India understands the importance of stock markets. Somewhere on the line, the government has done many things for small and medium sector enterprises this year or last 2 years, then almost since 1970s. In 1970s, there were, for small and medium sector enterprises, there were certain exemptions given from excise and so on and so forth. After that, not much has been done. Today, first time, small and medium sector enterprises are becoming very important. Why they are becoming important is also interesting, that India needs to create around 1.5 crore new jobs every year for next 20 years. 30 crore new jobs we need to create. And those jobs cannot be created by government. Earlier, even now, many of us have expectations that government will create jobs. And those jobs may or may not be created by government. But if you have to create those 30 crore new jobs in next 20 years, we must have ability for all of you youngsters to create jobs for yourselves, become entrepreneurs. And that's why the Startup India, Stand Up India, and so on and so forth are becoming very important. BSE is the exchange, the largest exchange in the world in terms of number of stocks listed. We have 5,400 stocks. But given the size of India, probably I won't be surprised if India has 1 lakh companies listed over the next 20 years. And that is because if you have to create so many jobs, we also need to list those companies. Why listing is important, as I said, is because we need to provide capital for these companies. Also, markets provide a role for wealth creation. Earlier, if you had to create 100 crore of profits, you had to also put in probably 100 or 200 crore rupees of investments. Today, the new technologies are allowing you to put in very little and create a lot of wealth. And that is possible only if you list on an exchange. There are angel funding available. There are venture capital funding available. There is private equity funding available. But many of us may not be lucky to get any of that. We may still be able to get money from small investors, people whom we know. And it is important that these people also have a chance. Otherwise, only the elites will take away most of the money available. While as actually the ideas is nobody's monopoly. Any person coming from even a not so privileged background can also start companies, create huge wealth using their brains. Earlier, only people with money could make money. Today, people with brains can make money. And stock exchanges have provided a platform for last 140 years, since establishment of BSE in 1875. For all these people, people with privileges and people without privileges to come and raise funds and take India forward. BSE has also recently created an incubator for promoting small companies or small entrepreneurs to come and start their businesses with Ryerson University of Canada. In last 2 years since it started, 78 companies have been funded. We are already expanding that particular framework. It's available on 18th floor of BSE building. Some of you who get time, you should visit the kind of energy that is available in those 78 companies that have come into those incubators. In SME segment, small and medium sector enterprise segment, BSE is now listed almost 140 companies, raised more than 1,000 crores for those companies with a market capitalization of more than 12 to 15,000 crores. And those companies, when they grow up, almost 18 or 20 companies are already going to the main board. When these companies grow up, we'll have many Infosys, many Wipro, many such companies are required in India to become role models and for wealth creation and also for job creation. BSE is also in the process of starting a high-tech segment for companies which do not make profits but are working in high-tech areas. SEBI has come out with new regulations for allowing them to list on exchanges so that those companies can also raise funds for their expansion. And those companies also will start getting listed. Why I'm telling you all this is that a capital market is about taking money from people, giving it to the companies directly. BSE is only acting as a platform. It is not giving you any guarantees. But given the regulatory framework that the SEBI, Ministry of Finance and BSE have created, people feel comfortable to give their money, hard-earned money, to somebody else who they even don't know that their money will not be vested, but it will end up giving more and more returns. The new world is about what I call non-linear payoffs. That is, you put in little, you may get huge amounts of returns. And that is what the SMEs, the Startup India, Stand Up India, Mudra companies are going to do. And BSE is going to be at the forefront of supporting these companies, ensuring that those companies come up and those companies end up creating jobs. As I said, we need to create 30 crore new jobs for next 20 years. And those companies will be at the forefront. So I am delighted that all of you have come here today to listen to this particular conference. And I wish my best to the conference deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. I now request our chief guest for the day, Shri Rajiv Kumar Agarwal ji, whole-time member SEBI, to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning, friends. Mr. Ashish Chauhan, Mr. Mahavir, Mr. Lele, Mr. Joshi, Mr. Dongre, Mr. Taksale, Mr. Baliga, and all the present here. I am quite fascinated by the title of this seminar, Transcending Horizons, Capital Markets the Way. I think there cannot be a more relevant theme for these times as this one. And of course, this is also a favorite theme for me. Transcending the horizons. At this point of time, we as a country are passing through a very, very interesting and exciting phase where we are involved in the process of catch-up with the developed world. We all know that we were one of the leading economies 200 years back, but at this point of time, we have got probably one of the largest number of poor and quite dilapidated infrastructure. And in all these services, whether it is health, education, we have to do a lot of catch-up. So friends, nature has provided us an opportunity to facilitate this catch-up process. At this point of time, we are the fastest growing economy in a scenario where most of the countries are struggling to get a growth rate of even 2%. There are many other factors which will make this catch-up process possible. There are many factors which justify the ambitions which we have at this point of time. We have got the biggest labor force, which is not in terms of number only, but also in terms of skill. We have also got one of the biggest force of entrepreneurs in this country. You are seeing the reflection in the startup industry at this point of time. The youngsters coming directly from the campus are running the businesses. And that has been the tradition of India. I mean, this is not something new. We had the entrepreneurial skills. Probably we were even a few hundred years back, we were one of the biggest pool of entrepreneurs. We have got a very developed financial markets. All the components of the financial markets are in place, and they are sufficiently robust. The regulatory mechanism is also sufficiently evolved. And we have got one of the biggest pool of savings in this country. We are saving at the rate of more than 30% at this point of time. And growing at a rate of 7.6% and having a 30% savings rate gives us a substantially large pool of money to sustain our growth process. But still, the kind of ambitions which we have, we do not have sufficient capital. Even this capital which is available to us, which is substantially large, is not sufficient. Moreover, we are perennially short of foreign capital. We are having CAD problem. Therefore, we have to keep on getting foreign capital. So we have to mobilize maximum amount of the domestic capital at this point of time, and we have to mobilize or attract maximum amount of the foreign capital from abroad if we really want to fulfill our ambitions of growing at the rate of more than 9% for at least few decades and investing more than $1 trillion in the infrastructure in the near term. So friends, it will be possible only when largest possible and most efficient possible mobilization of the domestic capital and foreign capital is done. The problem with this country is that a large amount of the capital, large amount of the savings is going into the physical assets, and very small amount is coming to the financial markets to start with. Then out of that financial savings also, capital market is having only 3% portion, which is very small. The other countries of the world, developed world, is having much larger portion of the savings allocated to the capital market. In USA, it is more than 50%. In Europe, it is in the vicinity of 30%. Even in Japan, where the banking industry is very strong, it is 15%. But we are having only 3%. We all know that the capital markets provide for risk capital, and they also provide for the most efficient allocation of the capital. Therefore, if we really want to utilize our resources most efficiently, most productively, then we will have to ensure that more and more capital comes to the capital market. So I need not to justify the role of the capital markets in the current situation. We have to promote them. We have to ensure that their size grows and their quality also grows, so that more and more investors are attracted toward these markets. Now, for having a large capital market, the prerequisite is that the investors are attracted towards these markets as they get higher rate of return and they have faith in these markets. These two prerequisites are important. As far as returns from the market is concerned, over a period of time, in the long run, the markets have given returns in the vicinity of 13% to 15%. I don't think the returns are going to be less, because in the future we have got much more, in the future we have got prospects of much higher growth rate, much more investment. Therefore, I think the markets may continue to give a reasonable return in future also. Therefore, this issue is not difficult to resolve. But the second issue is that the investors have faith in the market. For this, in maintenance of the market integrity and having sufficient accountability and transparency on the part of the promoters is important. That is why the regulators have laid down a framework for the enforcement of the law, including SEBI, and also the norms for the corporate governance and disclosures. There should not be any information asymmetry in the market. That is why adequate disclosures are required. Of course, this is also within the framework of the corporate governance. Therefore, the corporate governance is very important. Then, of course, importance is the correct statement of the financial health of the company. There, the role of the auditors comes. And as far as the compliance of the corporate governance norms is concerned, the role of the company secretaries comes, the role of the compliance officers comes. That becomes very important, because they have a fiduciary responsibility to see that the investors are, the rights of the minority shareholders are protected. Minority shareholders have faith in the companies if the companies are run on the principles of the corporate governance. We have seen in the recent years that the dividend on the good governance is being realized by the companies which are being well run. Therefore, this is not without gains to invest in the good governance. The role of the company secretaries becomes very important, because they guide the board. They guide the top management, and also communicate between the board and the senior management team. They ensure that the compliances of all the regulatory laws is made. For example, one of the most important principles which has been laid down as far as the corporate governance norms are concerned is the recognition of the related party transactions. This is very important, and it is being realized that this was at some point of time the most misused segment, where companies were not bothering to inform the shareholders, as to what they are doing, to whom the money is being transferred, to whom the benefit is being transferred. But now the laws are becoming more and more strict. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the compliance officers to identify the related parties first, and also identify correctly the related party transactions and make adequate disclosures to the market. Therefore, friends, the auditors and the compliance officers, they become two very important pillars on which the investor's faith rests. Therefore, this area has to be strengthened more and more. And in fact, they are the extended arms of the regulator. That is why, in the case of the auditors, the protection is given by the audit committee, where majority of the directors have to be independent directors. Therefore, the auditors, if they point out something, they are not dominated by the senior management or the board. So they are free to report whatever they think is important to report to the investors. And the audit qualifications are being taken very, very seriously by the exchange and the regulator. And whenever such qualifications are being made, they are being examined, and wherever it is necessary, they are being referred to the committees set up for this purpose and to the regulators. So friends, in the nutshell, at this point of time, for achieving all the economic goals which we have set as a country, we have to promote the capital markets. We have to ensure that more and more capital flows through these markets, and these markets are well run. There, the role of company secretaries and the compliance officers will become more and more important. Therefore, I would really convey my compliments for organizing this kind of seminar, where the awareness is created about the principles of the corporate governance and the role which the compliance officers have to play in this ensuring that the company is governed by the principles of the corporate governance. Thank you very much for inviting me on this occasion, and I wish you the best, and I would definitely urge more and more seminars take place across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I now invite C.S. Kamlesh Joshi, Chairman, Western India Regional Council of ICSI, to propose the formal vote of thanks.
Chief guest, Sri Rajiv Kumar Agarwal ji, guest of honor, Sri Ashish Kumar Chauhan ji, C.S. Mahavir Lunawat, Program Director, C.S. Makarand Lele, Chairman, Finance Committee, past President, past Chairman, and distinguished panel members, and my dear professional colleague, a very good morning to all of you. Friends, even to fly a kite, we need the wind and the strings to control it, while wind acts as a catalyst to provide the momentum for the kite. To go upward, a string ensure that it is controlled. In the same way, in the parallels of capital market, both the role of winds and string is done by the SEBI. SEBI is not only proactive, but also visionary in the growth of capital markets. The views shared by Sri Rajiv Kumar Agarwal ji are very connected to the same vision. On behalf of ICSI, I thank you for sharing your view, and more importantly, taking time out of your busy schedules, that too on first day of the week. I urge all delegates to offer a big round of applause to Sri Rajiv Agarwal ji. Let me, at the outset, communicate that for the growth of the economy, role of the capital market is very crucial. Having said, it is very important for us that today we have gathered at a historical Bombay Stock Exchange, which is not only the mother of the capital markets in the country, but also with the passage of time, have continued to contribute towards the growth of the economy. It is the only possible with visionary leadership of one of jewels of the capital market, Sri Ashish Kumar Chauhan. BSE, I must say, is always a guiding pillar for ICSI over the last many years, and I always feel short of words to express my gratitude. On behalf of Team ICSI, I take this opportunity in thanking you for providing your valuable inputs and, more importantly, giving time to time, again, all support to ICSI. I request you all to give a big round of applause to Bombay Stock Exchange and Sri Ashish Kumar Chauhan ji. On behalf of Team ICSI, I thank all the staff of ICSI who have worked toward for making the program a grand success. I express my gratitude to all the delegates present over here and all the viewers across the globe who are watching this program through web. My compliment to C.S. Mahavir Lunawat, C.S. Makarand Lele, and other Central Council members for drawing an excellent schedules and bringing here a galaxy of faculty members and panelists. Friends, Last but not least, the team WIRC believe in the concept of Together We Can. I dedicated the overwhelming response of this event to all my colleagues and my seniors. Let us, at this moment, also take note of the contribution of the unsung contributors like the catering staff, the sound system operators, and many unknown people who have contributed to the events without coming to the limelight are also deeply acknowledged here. To all my professional colleagues with changing landscape and emerging opportunities, I urge all by saying this: don't let your dreams be a dream. Let's make it reality. And let us our vision take us there and outperform. Now I request C.S. Atul Mehta to present a memento to Sri Ashish Kumar Chauhan ji as a symbol of our token of love and affection. Now I request C.S. B. Narasimhan ji to come on the dais and present a memento to our chief guest. Friends, you all knows the annual regional conference of WIRC of ICSI to be held at 25th and 26th June 2016 at Indore under the theme of Company Secretary as an Entrepreneur. I request to all of you to register the same who have not registered yet. Thank you.
Thank you all. Friends, we are running a little bit behind schedule. So without wasting any time, we'll immediately proceed with the first technical session of the day.